Hi everyone, welcome to NEET Biology channel. Assertion, a Linnaeus two-kingdom classification failed to distinguish between photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. Reason, are in Linnaeus time, fungi and green algae were grouped together under Plantae because both have cell walls. A. Assertion is true, reason is false. B. Assertion is false, reason is true. C. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Correct answer is D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Explanation. Linnaeus two-kingdom classification grouped all organisms with cell walls under Plantae, including both green algae, photosynthetic, and fungi, non-photosynthetic, thus failing to distinguish between their nutritional modes. This classification was based on superficial features like the presence of a cell wall, and did not account for fundamental differences such as autotrophic versus heterotrophic nutrition. The reason correctly explains why Linnaeus grouped such distinct organisms together, making both the assertion and reason true, and the reason the correct explanation. Assertion, A. In the Five-Kingdom classification, fungi were separated from plants primarily because they are non-photosynthetic. Reason, our fungi have a chitinous cell wall and absorb nutrients from dead organic matter. A. Assertion is true, reason is false. B. Assertion is false, reason is true. C. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Correct answer is D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Explanation. Fungi are fundamentally different from plants in both nutrition and cell wall composition. Unlike plants, fungi are heterotrophic and absorb nutrients, saprophytic mode, and their cell walls are made of chitin, not cellulose. These differences justified placing fungi in a separate kingdom. The assertion correctly identifies their non-photosynthetic nature as a key reason for separation, and the reason explains this with additional detail, making option D correct. Assertion, A. All eukaryotic unicellular organisms are placed under kingdom Protista in the Five-Kingdom classification. Reason, our Protista includes organisms that may be autotrophic, heterotrophic, or both in their mode of nutrition. A. Assertion is true, reason is false. B. Assertion is false, reason is true. C. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Correct answer is D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Explanation. All unicellular eukaryotes, regardless of their nutritional mode, are placed in Protista, distinguishing them from both multicellular plants and animals. Protists like Chlamydomonas, autotrophic, amoeba, heterotrophic, and Euglena, mixotrophic, show diverse nutrition types. Thus, the reason complements and correctly explains the assertion, making both statements true and logically connected. Assertion, A. The Five-Kingdom classification is more scientific than earlier systems because it only uses morphological traits. Reason, our Whittaker's system considered cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition, and phylogenetic relationships. A. Assertion is true, reason is false. B. Assertion is false, reason is true. C. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Correct answer is B. Assertion is false, reason is true. Explanation. The assertion is incorrect because the strength of the five-kingdom system lies in its multi-criteria approach, not just morphology. Whittaker introduced a broader perspective that included cellular structure, organization, nutrition, reproduction, and evolutionary history, which the reason rightly states. Thus, the reason is true, but the assertion is false. Assertion, Cyanobacteria and fungi were once grouped together under Plantae. Reason, are both groups possess eukaryotic cells and perform photosynthesis. A. Assertion is true, reason is false. B. Assertion is false, reason is true. C. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. D. Both assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Correct answer is A. Assertion is true, reason is false. Explanation. The assertion is correct. Cyanobacteria and fungi were once grouped under Plantae due to the presence of a cell wall. However, the reason is false. Cyanobacteria are prokaryotic and photosynthetic, while fungi are eukaryotic and non-photosynthetic. Therefore, though they were grouped together superficially, they differ significantly in cellular structure and metabolism, making the reason incorrect. Which of the following best explains why Chlamydomonas and Paramecium, despite having different nutritional modes, are placed in the same kingdom? A. Both are autotrophic and photosynthetic. B. Both are multicellular and prokaryotic. C. Both are unicellular and eukaryotic. D. Both reproduce by binary fission only. Correct answer is C. Both are unicellular and eukaryotic. Explanation. Chlamydomonas is autotrophic and photosynthetic, while Paramecium is heterotrophic, yet both are unicellular eukaryotes, a defining feature of Protista. Nutrition is not the key unifying trait here. Cellular complexity and organization are. Therefore, option C is correct. Options A and D ignore their nutritional and reproductive diversity, and B is incorrect as both are eukaryotic, not prokaryotic. Why was the earlier inclusion of blue-green algae under plants biologically misleading? A. Because they are motile and multicellular. B. Because they lack photosynthetic pigments. C. Because they are prokaryotic unlike true plants. D. Because they reproduce only by sexual methods. Correct answer is C. Because they are prokaryotic unlike true plants. Explanation. Blue-green algae, Cyanobacteria, perform photosynthesis like plants but are prokaryotic, lacking a nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. True plants are eukaryotic and multicellular. Their inclusion in the plant kingdom was based only on the shared trait of photosynthesis, which is insufficient for accurate classification. Options A, B, and D are factually incorrect or irrelevant. In which of the following pairs is one organism misclassified if using only the two-kingdom system? A. Amoeba and Fungi's Animalia. B. Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra, Plantae. C. Bacteria and Cyanobacteria, Plantae. D. Euglena and Mushroom, Plantae. Correct answer is D. Euglena and Mushroom, Plantae. Explanation. In the two-kingdom system, Euglena, photosynthetic and motile, and Mushroom, heterotrophic, were both placed under Plantae, which is incorrect. Euglena shows dual nutrition, and Mushroom is non-photosynthetic, unlike plants. A, B, and C were misclassified too in the past, but D reflects the greatest deviation in function and structure, making it the best answer. Which of the following characters most strongly supports the separation of Monera from Protista? A. Presence of photosynthesis. B. Nuclear membrane absence. C. Presence of cell wall. D. Reproduction via binary fission. Correct answer is B. Nuclear membrane absence. Explanation: the presence or absence of a nuclear membrane is a fundamental distinction. Monerans are prokaryotes, no true nucleus or membrane-bound organelles, while protists are eukaryotic. Photosynthesis and cell wall presence occur in both kingdoms, and binary fission can occur in both, so they are not distinguishing features. What justified placing chlorella and paramecium in the same kingdom in Whittaker's system? A. Both have cellulose cell walls. B. Both are unicellular eukaryotes. C. Both are autotrophs. D. Both undergo sexual reproduction. Correct answer is B. Both are unicellular eukaryotes. Explanation: despite differences in nutrition and cell wall presence, both chlorella, photosynthetic, and paramecium, heterotrophic, are unicellular eukaryotes, which is the defining feature of Protista. Their nutritional modes differ, and paramecium lacks a cell wall, so options A and C are incorrect. Option D is inaccurate as sexual reproduction in protists is variable.